This term sanctuary city doesn't have a sole legal or procedural definition. You can look in Georgia statute and you can find a clear definition for a unified government. You can look at contractual language and you can find out exactly what it means to be an SEC institution. Sanctuary city doesn't track with either of those. And so that term means different things to different people depending on the context of the discussion.
We know what it means, Mayor. We know
Liar.
what it means.
Liar.
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 Liar. You are a liar.
Liar.
You're a liar.
Liar.
You're a liar. You are guilty and got blood on your hands for this murder, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the mayor of Athens, Georgia, Kelly Girtz, addressing the media yesterday after an illegal migrant was charged with the murder of former UGA student Laken Riley. As you heard there, Girtz took the news conference as an opportunity to defend his stance on sanctuary cities, Athens being one, and then asking his constituents to leave instead of addressing the issue at hand.
Good for the media.
Yeah.
By the way, calling him out for his lies, bold-faced lies right there. This is not an issue that should be in dispute, right? The guy was here illegally, murdered a 22-year-old, okay? That's not something it shouldn't be political. It's just a fact. Joining us now for more in reaction to all this, let's welcome in the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCoy, and the former Vice Chair of the New Jersey Federation of Republican Women and host of the Money Talk with Melanie podcast, Melanie Collette. Great to have you back on. So, Betsy, how disgusting were those comments? By the way, this just happened. It's not like he's making those comments 6 months later.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the fact is, a sanctuary city means that the local police force is not allowed to contact ICE and get a migrant who is in the country illegally and then commits a crime, get that migrant back out of the country. That's what happened here. The killer had been arrested for shoplifting in Georgia and released rather than handed over to ICE. And let me tell you, when the mayor says there's no relationship between immigration and crime, that may be true in the past, but this time is different because the FBI says that the South American countries, like Venezuela, El Salvador, are emptying their prisons and sending their worst to us. They're emptying their prisons, and cities like New York or even Little Athens, Georgia, are being terrorized by gang members who are vicious, MS-13 gangs, the El Tren Aragua gang from Venezuela. These are killers with machetes and knives. They bludgeon people like they bludgeon that nurse. It is so shocking.
And him and his brother have been kind of terrorizing Athens in a way. I know his brother was pulled over for going 80 and a 40, drinking and driving, yet they had to let him go.
Two headlines just today, just one day. Illegal immigrant kills a Texas boy. He had been deported 5 times and was back in the country. Illegal immigrant kills a Maryland boy, age 2, with a gun. He had also been released. Right. He should have been out of the country, and he wasn't.
This is the fruit of Joe Biden's broken border policies. Melanie, your take.
I am incensed about this, particularly since this mayor took this opportunity to make it political, which is something the left accuses the right of doing all the time. It is so maddening. Do you know that Venezuela is on a do not travel list with the U.S. State Department? Do not travel at all. As a matter of fact, one of the recommendations is make sure you have your will in order if you're going to go to Venezuela. And we're going to just accept people in from those countries without vetting them. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
So the mayor was really on a roll yesterday. He went on to blame, of course, President Trump for painting illegal immigrants as bad people and claimed crime has no link to illegal immigration. Take a listen to this.
While 2019 was not that long ago, you might remember the dynamic we were living in the late teens in this country, where you had the President of the United States speaking in the most vile terms about people who were foreign born. And you had that notion metastasizing in places like Charlottesville.
This is an invasion!
In the main, I caution against conflating immigration and crime. The data demonstrates that the two are not connected.
You know, I have friends and family living in Athens. All they needed to hear from their mayor was maybe condolences, maybe assurance that, hey, we will make sure the city is safe. They didn't need to hear excuses.
Gaslighting.
Let me point out that the left are piling on all this data that shows in past decades, immigration did not lead to higher crime rates. That may be true. But this time is different because the countries are emptying the prisons. The FBI has said, don't look at that past data because that data is not indicative of what's happening now. Now we are being confronted with huge waves of professional criminals who are being deliberately sent into our country. They are weaponizing immigration against the United States.
I rarely say this, but I am proud of the Georgia media. And of course, in that room, that's just not the media around Athens and Augusta. That's the media from Atlanta and the rest of the country.
Right.
But they're
Exactly.
calling out this guy. Charlotte, to your point, you know, we wish the family the best, and we're going to make sure that Athens, Georgia, and the UGA campus are safe. Instead, we heard that.
It's ridiculous how he completely ignored the sadness and the tragedy that this is and was completely political. And sounds to me like somewhat of a guilty conscience maybe on his part, just saying, oh, let's talk about all the reasons why there's no association. And they say this all the time. It's a complete fallacy in reasoning. Oh, we have crime here already. Okay, so why would we want more criminals here? To increase the crime rate. It doesn't make any sense. And he's completely wrong. He's a disgrace. He should resign.
And just a couple more facts, by the way. This suspected murderer, right, crossed the border when Joe Biden was president. Okay, so
2022.
bringing up Donald Trump is not even relevant. If he crossed when Donald Trump was president, that might have some relevance. It doesn't. Joe Biden's been president for more than 3 years. This guy crossed when Joe Biden was president
Blood
and
on
did
his
it
hands.
when Joe Biden was president. All right, thank you very much, Melanie, Collette, Betsy McCoy. We appreciate it.